what is up, Yugi fam? I'm here with Carlos. My boy just got first place today at our locals at Final Turn Gaming. So yeah, we just did 4 rounds, and you want to tell your talk about your matchups maybe?
Yeah, of course. So round 1, I played against Sword Soul. I won the die roll, did Alistair things, not much my opponent can do. Round 2, I played against another Sword Soul. Lost the die roll, opened up 3 hand traps, way to Alistair, another way to Ecclesia. Nothing my opponent can do.
Oh yeah, guys, by the way, he's playing Dogmatika Invoked.
Oh yeah, of course. Dogmatika Invoked, yep. Featuring DP, of course.
Yeah.
And round 3, I played against Lyralist Try. My opponent won the die roll. Unfortunately for him, I just opened up every out possible. Game 2, it went to game 3. Game 2, he won. Game 3, he opened up the nuts, went Appaloosa. I let him full combo. Unfortunately for him again, I opened up Nib, Veiler. Last card in his hand was the Golden Lyralist, and I had DD Crow for that.
Wild.
And then I top deck Meltdown. Sack it is. What can I do?
Well, it's the deck.
Yeah, and then round 4 is really good Sword Soul matchup. Went back and forth. He broke my board. I broke his board. Went into time, and then I won game 2. So
awesome.
That was that. Let's get into the deck profile.
All right, let's get right into it.
For monsters, beginning pretty standard. 3 Alistair. Normal 7 Alistair, 4 years straight, 5 years straight is what it is. 3 Ecclesia.
Oh, 3.
3, yeah. This deck has, I believe it's 17 starters, so you definitely want to max out on all the starters possible, in my opinion. Ecclesia always comes up. You can search yourself a Maximus to extend, Fleur de Lis to have a negate. It's just too good to not play it. 3.
Makes sense.
Then the 1-ofs, 1 Fleur de Lis, 1 Maximus. They're not too good. Fleur de Lis is a brick sometimes, but most of the time, if you can summon your Alistair and it gets hand trapped, you can go into a Almirage, and if worse comes to worse, you can special Fleur de Lis, go into Anaconda, at least end on a DP. Maximus, you have to play because it's shut all package. Winda is still way too good if they don't draw the out to it. Most of the time, it's just an FTK.
Yeah, it's wild.
The DP package, they're bricks, but you have to play them, unfortunately. For hand traps, I play 14 hand traps, and I think
14.
that's super important in this deck because you have so many 1-card combos that the hand traps are just to help you follow up. If they're in your hand, they can't get, evenly, the Lightning Storm after
exactly,
game 2,
yeah.
etc. So I think that's super important.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think they're really good defensive cards that your opponent can't anticipate, really. I mean, they could anticipate, but they don't know exactly what you have.
Exactly.
So it's just a nice backup plan. And I totally agree, because you have Alistair, which is a 1-card combo, Ecclesia, stuff like that, Nadir Servant. It just makes sense, Exactly. 14 is nice. It's great that you could fit 14 in the deck.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Zodiac days. You play a lot of hand traps and 1-card combos. So 3 Ash, most generic hand trap, hits mostly everything in the meta. Not much to say about that. This is my choice for hand traps. 3 DD Crow. So DD Crow, against most of the meta, it's really not a high impact hand trap, but usually everyone's playing DPE. It gets really sticky with the DPE battles, going back and forth, destroy, and you can't really out it. This gets rid of DPE, as well as whenever you need a Celestial, you play against Sword Soul like I did most of the day. It shuts down the 10E engine. You play against Lyralusk, it hits most of their effects that target grave, so stuff like that. You play the Mirror Match, which sometimes comes up. You hit the Alistair when they Invocation, stuff like that.
What's really cool is that Crow is one of the few cards that actually stops the Invocation from resolving, even though Invocation wasn't technically negated, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then 3 Effect Veiler. Again, one of the most generic things. Effect Veiler is a good card. Usually it's not enough by itself, but again, that's why I play so many hand traps, because if you draw 2 of pretty much any hand trap, usually it's enough for them to not build a board that you can't break.
Also, you're playing DD Crow and Veiler, so multiples of those are actually pretty cool because they're not, once per turns, right?
Exactly. Then 2 Drone Lockbird. Drone Lockbird, again, it's good against a lot of the decks in the meta, but not all of them. That's why I decided to play 2, not 3. And what you were referring to before is some of these hand traps are once per turn, so I don't really want to draw multiples of these and have it stuck in hand. And, you know, 2 is enough so that I'll see it, but not in multiples.
Makes sense.
And then 3 Imperm. Does the same job as Veiler, and essentially just 3 more. So it can't be hit by Cold Boy. So I didn't play Nib, I sided the Nibs. And my reasoning being is game 1, every time, either Nib would be dead in my hand, or Nib would be stuck in my hand when I'm trying to activate a Celestial effect, which is another reason why I felt like DD Crow was really good, because it came up twice today actually, where I could just dish the DD Crow and activate Celestial because you can just activate DD Crow at any time. As for the trap cards, besides the Imperm, 1 Punishment, 1 Schism. Not much to say. You have to play the Schism because of the Maximus package for Winda.
Yep.
You have to play 1 Punishment, even though I really don't like the card that much. Just
I have a love-hate relationship with that card
too.
because, oh my god, resolving it.
And then the next turn you have to
and
skip
the next,
your turn.
yeah, oh my goodness, it's like it can be, especially if it's not even that high impact and you lock yourself out. It really sucks.
Exactly.
It prevents you from going for games sometimes, you know.
Absolutely, yep. So 1 of each of those. For spells, 3 Meltdown, 1 Terraforming, 1 Invocation. It's the Alistair package. A lot of people play 2 Invocations.
Wow,
I only play 1 because, again, this deck, I don't like drawing bricks. You have the 2 Destiny Hero targets, you have Lord Elise, you have Maximus, and you have Invocation, where that would be a total of 6 bricks in your deck. And even though, you know, putting this down by 1 doesn't decrease it by that much, it goes from 6 to 5, I still think it's really important because I never really need more than 1. There's nothing in the meta that's really going to banish my 1 Invocation. And if anything happens and I can't resolve it, I usually have a way to get Alistair banished anyway, like with Schism, and then you can just add it back to him. So
that makes sense. That's actually one of the interactions I like is banishing Alistair off Schism.
Exactly.
And then just adding it back, and then using Invocation to just add it back later on. Like you say, you needed to use, well, for pure Shadow build, sometimes you need to use Invocation to go into Shadow plays and stuff. But yeah, no, I totally understand. But interesting thing with that though about playing 1 Invocation is that usually like, so you know they always say that anytime Alistair gets negated, oh you hard draw, like Invoke players always hard draw Invocation. You know, anyway, they always have but in your case, that's never the case actually.
Very rarely, but usually, honestly, I don't mind.
It's never the case. Like you'll never activate Alistair if you have Invocation in hand, so you can never like say bait out like a Veiler, an Imperm, an Ash.
You'd be surprised though. There's been at least 2 times, not just today, but in the past couple of
where you
weeks,
don't even
I just normal summon Alistair and they'll just shotgun a hand trap and I'll be like, okay, I didn't declare effect, but if you want to do that, that's fine.
Yeah, oh, that's so good.
3 Nadir Servants, standard, you know, engine, you gotta play it. 3 Fusion Destiny, again, standard DP engine, gotta play it. Then I played 1 Called By. I think this card's really good, especially in this deck, whether you're going first or second. Going first, it helps you resolve Alistair, resolve any of your cards, negate the Ash, etc. Going second, it helps against Scythe combo, banish the Scythe. It helps against DP to get rid of it. So you have this and 3 DD Crows plus Alistair engine to get rid of DP, which in this format's really important. That's mostly what everyone's putting up.
Yeah, it's super high impact against DPE for sure.
So this deck just completely, destroys the DP engine. This is supposed to be 2 Pot of Prosperity. I could not find the second one, so I put in a last minute 1 Crossout. I was thinking about doing 1 Upstart, play 39 cards, quote unquote. But I didn't want to risk running into Droll, even, making Droll even better against my deck. It already suffers a lot against Droll. So this will definitely be a second Pot of Prosperity when I get another one. But I only drew this once, and it came up only once where my opponent crossed out my Imperm. And I flipped it thinking, oh, I'll just cross out his cross out. And then I remembered I only play 1. So, yeah.
You sided out the other 2 Imperm? Oh,
no,
I mean cross
I had to cross out his cross out,
yeah,
but I didn't have another one.
So, that's wild. That's wild.
That's it for the main deck. For the extra deck, we have 1 Almirage, standard, 1 Secure Gardener, again, standard. Then we have 1 Anaconda, have to play for DP. Invoke cards, we have 2 Macabas. You need a second one. I wanted to cut this down to 1 to make more room in the extra deck, but a second one comes up way too much, and it's pretty much your best Invoked Fusion, so you have to play 2. Then we have 1 Rajin and 1 Algades, and then this was my special tech choice, 1 Caliga.
How was that?
Caliga comes up every once in a while, especially after you've already gotten rid of the DPE. Like I said, you have so many cards to get rid of DPE. And you can use this to banish their Celestial, which will shut down the rest of the engine. And the effect its effect is just so good. It's just a floodgate. If you can have this with your DPE, your opponent isn't really going to be playing that turn because you can only activate 1 effect or attempt to activate 1 effect per turn, and they can only attack with 1 monster per turn. So this with DPE, pretty much shuts down your opponent's turn unless they have droplets or Dark Rule or anything.
Yeah, they have to draw specific outs
exactly
to that card.
Then we have 1 DPE, 1 Natis. I wanted to bump up Natis to 2, so that's what I cut the second Natis for the Caliga. Then for the Shadals, we have 1 App Cologne, 1 Construct, 1 Winda. Honestly, the Construct is just there to add back Schism. Like it never really comes up. So,
what about the? How was 1 Winda though?
1 Winda was fine. You never really resolve Schism more than once. If they out your Winda, usually they'll be able to play through your board, and then you'll lose after that. So second Winda has never come up for me, but standard should all win. Then you have 1 Ash Dragon. This is important and usually comes up a lot off Maximus. After activating Nadirs, usually you'll send App Cologne, add Schism, dump Schism, then you'll go Maximus. Maximus will dump Construct and Ash Dragon. Construct will add back Schism. Ash Dragon will give you another search at the end phase, which will usually search Fleur de Lis, and then that's another interruption for your opponent's turn.
Yeah.
And then 1 Omega. Yet again, there's nothing in the deck that actually goes into Omega, but yet again, this is another out to DPE. Who would have guessed it?
That's actually pretty nice.
Because you go Nadir Servant, you dump Omega, you shuffle back theirs and yours, stuff like that. Sometimes it comes up where you'll activate your invocation, it'll not resolve, it'll get sent to grave. Since I only play 1, there's no way to get back into it, but you have your engine sending Omega, you can shuffle it back into the grave as well, so that comes up sometimes. And that's the extra deck.
Yeah, it's actually a really good. It's a really good tool, especially because you can recycle your dogmatic stuff, and and it recycles itself, so it's always
it's always live. It keeps
your
it keeps your Maximus always being able to activate itself.
Yep.
For the side deck, 3 Nib. You have to play Nib in some way, shape, or form in this format because
high impact.
Yeah, there's so many decks that it comes up a lot. Lyreless Try. This card is amazing. It depending on how they play it, it just ends their turn. 3 Token Collector. In the beginning, I really didn't want to play this card. I didn't feel like it was enough against the Sword Soul deck.
Yeah, I don't.
I wrong.
Yeah, I don't see. Oh, really? Was it really?
I was so wrong. Every single time, 4 times so far in the past 2 weeks, that I've summoned Token Collector, they just end their turn. There's really nothing they can do because usually the only way they'll be able to out this is to have a special summon on top of their normal summon of Mo Yi or something like that. And then if you have any interruption whatsoever, like a hand trap or a DP to stop them from getting over this, then their turn just ends. And this is just recurring. If you draw the 1 and it gets sent to grave, you just keep bringing it back. So they gotta keep having outs to it. That's what makes it so good. Yeah.
It's a little DPE.
Yep, and since at locals and at events, like all you see is Sword Soul nowadays. Like even today, I played 3 Sword Souls. So yeah, it comes up a lot. The card is really good. 2 Lancia. The card's really good. It's really for PK most of the time, or every once in a while. If Sword Soul's going first, I'll side this in, side out my DD Crows, just because this is more impact. It shuts down the 10E engine. It prevents them from dropping Protos, which is the biggest problem. If they Protos me and they manage to call light, if they know what I'm playing game 2 or 3 or something like that, then it shuts down most of my deck. So sometimes it's important it comes up. Then 1 Harpies, 3 Cosmic. Have to play it. The Eldritch players, back row, Mystic Mine, etc. You need to have your outs. IO, Money man
IO,
pin card is too
IO,
good.
yep,
Yep.
that's a big
So
one.
gotta have these cards. And then the last three, there can be only one. This card is
Okay.
insane. If you go first and you side this card and you draw it against, you know, pretty much any meta, Sword Soul, it's not as good against Literalist Try, but against Sword Soul, PK, stuff like that, you flip this card, they don't have an out. It's really difficult for them to do anything.
I don't know, man. I think that card's pretty good against Lyrlos Try. Because, I mean,
They can out it easier than the other meta
Yeah, I
decks,
guess
but it is
'cause
good enough. I definitely side it in if I'm going against a deck,
yeah, probably because of double Dragon Lords, right? Double Dragon Lords can just like bounce it
Exactly.
back or whatever.
But having Makaba with this though, just Makaba is usually enough. But if you have Makaba and DP, it's so hard for them to
Yeah,
out this.
it's really insane.
Yep, and that's the rest of the side deck.
All right, dude. Awesome job today, man. You did a great job going first, going undefeated, first place. Also winning the mat. I don't know. I was expecting to see the Savage Strike player.
I do have the mat. Yeah,
It's fine. It's fine. So yeah, man. Any shout outs?
Oh yeah, definitely. I want to shout out Yu-Gi-Oh! Mammals.
The squad, the team.
That's my squad right there.
Right there, baby. Yu-Gi-Oh! Mammals all day.
Shout out to you, of course, to all the help that you provide for us, to our store, Final Turn Gaming. You know, thanks for all that you guys do, and for giving us such a great local system.
Thank you so much, man. All right, great job, bro. See ya.
Yep, take care.